Alright, sorry about that. We had technology troubles. Um, Company must have years ago they could have known about my condition. Her proposal was likely part of her design. We don't investigate the trafficking. We could just find my badge. The company must have ears to the ground. I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction didn't come off as sincere. Did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to adapt. She is a professional after all. Sorry for putting us in this situation. I'll handle it. I'm sure you will, Detective. We could just find my badge. Oh, he nods slowly. That would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters. The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months. Wow, this fucking sucks. Let's just get back to her. Alright, bitch.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
So Kim doesn't want to help her? I can't fucking blame him, I guess. What, do we just leave her then? Because, I mean, what, I can ask her for money. I can talk to her about other stuff. Here, talk to me about Wild Pines. What we do, I'm afraid, I don't speak for the Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking. There's a touch of discomfort there. She merely wants to represent. Seems like she doesn't really like the company. So what do they do? The Pines core competency is logistics, container shipping. I'm gonna check that I'm actually recording real quick. Okay, I am. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. She points to small dots on the horizon. Those airships linking. Those are the shipping side of things. To the east, toward the harbor, in the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil, gas, exploration, offshore platforms. The Wild Pines is a group of original Revolution Indo-tribes companies awarded royal monopolies by the king. Sersman himself, centuries ago, the king is long gone, but several of the tribes remain. What are the other ended tribes? Saint Baptiste, you're in good with the company, it seems. Well, I think she does not register the real meaning of the remark. How much money they got? I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year we booked more than 20 million real revenue. Excuse me, a billion. What exactly is a billion? It's a number, big one. What is it made of? It's made of 1,000 millions. A million, it's made of 1,000 thousands. Wow. 20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. There are capital improvements, interest payments. A wave hits the slop. She grasps the money straight from balance. A conglomerate the size of Wild Pines is a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what will become of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility. Let's talk about something else. What can you tell me about the strike? Everything, she smiles. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. What if I want to hear about trade secrets? First, you have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade, an alignment that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. How do I repeal it? Why? By throwing off half a century of foreign documentation on the coalition. Unfortunately for you, the coalition also leases you the right to police West Revolution. You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words. Leave it alone. But I am derailing us. You wanted me to tell you about the strike. What is your role in this precisely? I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with the Wild Pines counteroffer. No way, she can make all the decisions. And how are the talks going? They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me in the harbor, and there's 2.20 M racist behemoth blocking the gates. Tell me about this behemoth. What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. She pauses. A racist giant? I guess that's part of their big tent organization now. What? So this is just a big guy? Did I miss him? How were the talks going before lynching? Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I had hoped when I first arrived. And when did you first arrive? I arrived 3 weeks ago, she thinks. Yes, the middle of February. Oh, thank God, they just have normal fucking months. They don't have, like, the month of rain or whatever, like fucking Dishonored. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site like the RCM. He looks at our notes, but the strike began in December. I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaume hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak to Gaume despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations. This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike. Heavens no, there have been two prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive. They want bitches. Hey yo, give us bitches. White bitches. Black bitches. Asian bitches. Make sure you write this down. We want Asian bitches. What are the demands? There are leaflets everywhere and banners. What do they say again? Oh, yes. Every worker a member of the board. Most of these workers probably don't even know what that means. I like it. And you might also like their slogans, demand democracy. That's a good one. Personally, I don't think it has the same pizzazz as every worker a member of the board. What exactly do they mean by it, though? What's the demand? It's quite simple. You see, every time the Wild Pines make a decision about anything really, it needs a signature of 2,000 of each of the 2,200 workers in the terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they the kings of the company, they are also the kings of 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. So is this the way it is or the way they want it to be? It's pretty funny, I have to admit. They're having a blast, but how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption is they would prefer a more practical solution. What are you going to do? I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with the side of mockery, but there's been no follow-up. It's just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. That sounds off. It sounds like somebody else is up to something. And now people are getting lynched, I hear, behind the whirling ranks. A disastrous situation if there ever was one. Excuse me, Lieutenant looks up the notes. From who did you hear about this lynching? Her reply comes quick. I first heard it from Bioa over at the gates, the one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think his name was Call Me Yay. I know that guy. This speed checks out. Okay, so just because she answered it so fast, that's how she actually heard it. So what happened to that guy? Mr. Clare told him to, how did he put it? She poses himself to composure. Fuck off, midget. Government is short of stature, you see. Okay then. Yes, keep in mind this is a negotiator. Mr. Clare has worked with before and who has been more with fair than union. Sounds like usually aggressive posturing. The scabs at the gate, did you put them there? The scabs? She raises her brow. You mean the 100 huddled masses of Jamrock come to plead for work where the union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be company secret. I cannot share it with you, not right now at least. It's implied she's opening to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion. Tell me about the boss. Everett Clare is the man of utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interest of the workers first. Really? Of course not. Everhard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has thick, vicious goo where you and I have blood. Is he that bad? He is the most corrupt individual I've ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there's anything more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's the twin brothers Edgar. Wait, there are two of them? Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother except for the lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everett does. And when one's term as foreman is up, the other term takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see. The funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. What about the union itself outside the Brothers Clare? The Debaucherers Union was a perfectly normal institution 20 years ago. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Acts, but they did it, and I can respect that. She adjusts her hair. Organized labor at its best, they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a, how do you say, She hesitates, looking for the right description. A mob, Lieutenant says succinctly. The debauchers are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, we're forced to cooperate with them. So this is the union we're talking about. Refreshingly honest, officer, she nods. The company has tried appeasing in the past. I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened the Everett and his brother. She turns to you. And your opinion, detective, it may ask. I'm a curious and talkative person. She sees. She explains. Would you say the union is I prefer not to have an opinion. Of course, officer. That's all I need. Let's change the topic. Should I just ask for money? Did this go up or down? I thought it was 3 before. Wait, no, it was. I thought it was higher before. Was it maybe 47 and then the plus 1 made it 58? I don't know if I want to try that. Let's just not try that for now. Alright. I think we'll stop it there. We'll come back next time. Do some more detective work. See you around.